Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. My name is Daryl Kwao. Coming up, Tema Oil Refinery targets 45,000 barrels of crude oil a day as it works to commence operations with a new private partnership from October this year. Meanwhile, Chamber of Petroleum Consumers warns of fresh threat to national security over delayed intervention to stabilize fuel prices as it forecasts more price hikes at the pumps.
You would need to, at some point, probably through the National Security Department, through the Energy Ministry, through Finance Ministry, NPA, centralize importation immediately.
Also coming up, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison highlights the country's rising debt stock as a major challenge in checking inflation and ensuring economic stability.
Central banks reacted to the recent inflation spiral that we have seen. As I said, in Ghana, we saw inflation jump, literally.
We've got more from his lecture at the London School of Economics, and we will take you to the new KGTL market in Kumasi, where traders have expressed anger at the total disconnection of power at the market by the Electricity Company of Ghana.
Until we are provided separate meters, we are not paying any bill.
And my name is Daryl Kwao. Details in a bit. Our top story this Friday afternoon, the Tema Oil Refinery says it is targeting to process 45,000 barrels of crude oil a day as it works to commence operation from October this year. It has secured government's approval to go ahead and negotiate a lease agreement to refine crude oil with support from a private investor, Decimal Capital. Matilda Frimpa is the acting public affairs manager. She has been telling us this. We're hoping to speak with the managing director of Tema Oil Refinery in the course of this bulletin. When we are able to establish contact with him, we will do so. But still with the issue to do with stabilizing fuel prices, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, is warning of threats to national security if nothing is done by government to stabilize fuel prices. This warning is coming at a time when there are projections that prices of petroleum products will be going up again from next month. Now, speaking on PM Express Business Edition, Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Anwa, noted this is not only eroding gains made so far, but could stabilize other sectors of the economy.
We've been on a very slippery path. I do not think that the system we are trying is working. It's just like the Black Stars. If you continue to play the same system and you continue to record the same losses like you saw with the AFCON, at some point you need to change. And I do think that, like Senor said, deregulation doesn't mean no regulation. We are getting to a crisis point. We need stricter regulation that has a certain focus that says that prices have become a problem. How do I contain prices? I can give you two quick suggestions. You don't need to continue to liberalize importation of petroleum products. Because if you allow the various players to simply go to the market to import, what you are doing, whatever economies of scale you could have derived from, nationalizing or centralizing your importation, you cannot get it. Again, each BDC going to the open market to source for their own dollar in itself is also putting pressure on the city. And so you would need to, at some point, probably through the National Security Department, through the Energy Ministry, through Finance Ministry, NPA, centralize importation immediately. Ensure that whatever comes in, whatever BOG can augment by way of the forex that they release, you can sit with the individual banks and insist that, well, this is how much we need to augment our imports.
Now, away from fuel, the Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison has highlighted the country's rising debt stock as a major challenge in checking inflation and ensuring economic stability. The country's debt stock reached 391 billion cedis in March this year, but there are projections that it could hit threatening levels soon. Speaking at a lecture at the London School of Economics, the governor noted that the situation calls for some tough measures.
As countries in the sub-region became increasingly integrated into the global trade and financial networks, the uncertainty surrounding the timing of monetary policy in the advanced countries has also increased the volatility of capital flows to emerging markets and developing economies, as well as the African frontier economies, some of which has led to sudden reversals of capital flows, leading to very large and disorderly depreciation in the exchange rates, with adverse implications for both inflation and financial stability. There have been other exogenous shocks, as you're aware. The oil price shock, the pandemic, have also brought significant challenges to monetary policy implications. We were again discussing this issue of the supply side shocks that we have seen coming in, and I had to make the point that monetary policy does not really focus on the supply side shocks, but we are looking at the second round effects of these supply side shocks and how they affect the anchoring of long-term inflation expectations and the behavior of wage agitation. So really, this is the only reason why central banks reacted to the recent inflation spiral that we have seen. As I said, in Ghana, we saw inflation jump, literally.
Now, a 2021 World Bank report on public debt in some countries has revealed a lack of transparency in reporting the data. This potentially enables governments to overborrow and hide debts from their citizens and creditors. Acting Country Director of the World Bank, Patrick Mullin, launched the report dubbed World Development Report 2021. Here's more.
The report highlights that the proliferation of complex debt instruments may make it easier for government to obscure their debt position. In managing current and future debt, the World Bank revealed that government and partners need to improve the coverage, quality and transparency of debt data.
We have a statistical performance indicator. Ghana's score of 62 out of 100 was among the higher scores in Africa. And it reflects progress in terms of data use, data services, data products, data sources, and data infrastructure. And the analysis, of course, shows also a number of opportunities and challenges that need to be addressed. Ghana's efforts aim to enable the use of data to create economic and social value, promote equitable opportunities to benefit from data, and very importantly, foster citizens' trust that they will not be harmed by the misuse of data that they provide.
This effort, they claim, requires investing in database. Communications Minister Esla Owusu Ekufu stated that a data exchange hub will aid in aggregating data.
The report highlighted that Ghana is doing better than most of its neighbors in the sub-region. I think apart from Nigeria, in almost all the indices, we're not doing too badly. And so it's encouraging us to do even better than we're doing already and telling us that there are also a few things that we need to focus on. It's a concern that we're working in silos, generating valuable data, but not being able to utilize it as effectively as we can for national planning and development. For any digital economy to thrive, you need data analytics, which will facilitate machine learning and all the other things that go with it. So it's absolutely critical that we find a way of consolidating our databases. And we think that having a data exchange hub, connecting the various databases and linking them so that at the click of the button, with the right levels of accreditation, you can access data from any of those databases and utilize it properly.
Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobina Enim called for an establishment of a national data policy institute.
It's about how we measure that transition from data to policy. So as I indicated, it is about time we think about establishing a National Data Policy Institute, and one of their core functions would be the mapping of data to policy. At the end of the day, if for instance we use the call detail records to track flooding, get people to say that don't go to these places because we've used that rich data from our telecommunication institutions, we'll be able to say that that coordination, that partnership has led to this X number of lives that are saved because of the data that we're getting from the telecoms.
Investing in human capital for production of public intent data, according to the World Bank, is necessary for economic growth.
Indigenous cement manufacturer Jata has made a case for a partnership with government in solving the country's infrastructure challenges. According to the company, if some reliefs could be given them as a local firm, Ghana's housing deficit could be reduced. Managing Director for Jata Cement, Nana Philip Archer, spoke to journalists after some members of Parliament's Trade and Housing Committee toured the ultra-modern manufacturing facility in Tema. Here's more.
The tour by members of the Housing, Trade and Industry Committee was to engage the officials of the company on ways Parliament can support their operations as the only indigenous cement manufacturing firm in the country. Managing Director Nana Philip Archer noted that Jata Cement is in a strong position to partner with government should all their challenges be dealt with. He assured that the company will engage Parliament and government to find a lasting solution to some of the challenges, which includes power and access to raw materials.
Jata is well positioned in a way for us to partner government so that at the end of the day, we will develop this economy through the provision of cement products and its aggregates and so on and so forth. And so, yes, we have a lot of challenges, and some of them you already know. But then I think at the appropriate time, we engage leadership, maybe behind closed doors, to discuss a few of the challenges that we face. And that this runs through the value chain, right from the port, through production, up to when we go downstream to the market.
Leader of Government Business in Parliament, Oseche Mensah Bonsu, acknowledged the efforts of the company in stabilizing the price of cement in the local market. He assured that he will initiate steps to get some reliefs for the company.
And it's for Parliament to come together to assist him to overcome the teething problem that he's facing, including some exemptions that he may need in the import of equipment. We have the 1D, 1F, one district, one factory. It comes along with some facilities. Can we extend same to him, even though he's in operation? I do know that some of them already existing companies have applied by way of trying to expand their outfit. What can be done by Parliament to assist him to expand, to employ Ghanaians, and to also offer the system greater resilience, that is for the economy, so that we'll be able to overcome the occasional sneezing from the West and increasingly these days from China.
Minority leader Aruna Idrisu applauded the company for the huge investment and employment it is creating in the country.
Meanwhile, leader of Government Business in Parliament, Oseche Mensah Bonsu, has said the cost of cement could be lower if power charges for industries come down. According to him, the House will be making some interventions to support local industries in getting reliefs on power charges.
So much depends on power that is generated and sold to them. If the cost of power is high, it certainly would affect the cost of the cement. Today, X factory, and I just got informed by that, they are selling a bag at 55 cedis, which is about close to $7. I want to believe that if the cost of power was low, certainly the cost of the product would also come down. So there are some obstacles to overcome, and we should all assist him to overcome this, because cement really is at the heart of the construction business, including the construction of residential facilities. We all do know that the deficit in housing in the country is in excess of 1.5 million. And we need cement to do the construction. So if the cost of cement is very high, then those of us aspiring to build houses, like all of us here in Assembled, including some of you that I know, will not be in a position ultimately to have your own residential facilities if the cost is overly high. So
we're taking you next to the Ashanti region, where traders at the new KJTR market have expressed anger at the total disconnection of power at the market by the Electricity Company of Ghana. The ECG says the traders owe the company a total of 5 million cedis and has disconnected the entire market. Traders were forced to use flashlights to trade. Market leaders are threatening to shut the KJTR market down if power is not restored. Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong has more in this report.
The KJTR City Market operates over 7,000 stalls. A recent electricity bill distributed to the traders from a bulk consumption system at the market raised protest from the traders. They requested the installation of separate meters for each stall to regulate consumption. But the ECG is yet to respond to their request. The traders have refused to pay the bills owed ECG.
Until we are provided separate meters, we are not paying any bills.
The Electricity Company of Ghana earlier this week announced a planned emergency maintenance with expected power outage on Wednesday, 22nd June 2022. This was to improve service delivery. But the scheduled maintenance ended with an announcement of a mass disconnection. The entire market is without electricity. Eric Nanakwesi Prempeh is chairman of the Federation of Kumasi Traders.
To the board of directors, to the Minister of Local Government, who have oversight responsibility over Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, that we the traders here are very disappointed in them. For it has been over 2 years now that we requested that each trader needs his or her own separate meter. We were willing to pay for the cost of the meters. But as we speak now, the government, and for that matter, the local government ministry, the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, the board and management of this facility have turned deaf ears to us.
A number of traders were seen using flashlights to trade today. Market leaders have threatened to halt trading activities if power is not restored.
But upon going through the market, we realize that if we continue plying our trade in this darkness, it poses a security threat. So as we speak to you right now, the leadership and members have decided that we are going to go run through the market to tell our members that from this time to 3 o'clock p.m., everybody should close his or her shop. And from tomorrow going, if power is not restored to the market will not be open, because we cannot compromise on the security of our own people and the market as a whole.
The various market unions say they've written to the Regional Police Command on a possible demonstration if the situation doesn't change. Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
From the Ashanti region, we take you next to the Western region, this time for the Joy Business shopping list. And traders at the Takoradi markets in the Western region are calling on government and stakeholders to work on stabilizing the prices of food items as the increment is affecting patronage. Correspondent Nathalia Kwanzaa reports for the shopping list this week.
This is the new Takoradi market, where traders from the Takoradi market circle were moved here. Today, we are here to find out how commodity prices are.
This is a great on ye. On your craniums, no buy it. The bit that we first no near turn by 1.8.
As at now, the market is quite bad. Things have become quite expensive. At first, we bought rice at 180. Now it's 201 cedis. Everything has become so expensive, and even sugar now sells at 400 Ghana cedis. The price we sell it is 4 cedis 50 pesos, and even that people choose to buy it or not. Everything has become very expensive. Broken rice was 3 cedis, now it's 4 cedis. Everything has become expensive, and now when people ask of price, they can't buy. Now even the things that are supposed to be less expensive have all become expensive. If the markets will become effective again, it is when the prices of products have all become moderate. The country's economy has become very hard. There are no jobs and people are not buying. Expenses have all become excessively high. Life has been really hard. Now we don't know what to do. We just look up to God to help us withstand everything. Everything has become hard. Even palm nut is now 10 cedis. Transport fares and other expenses take up even the small income we make.
Since I brought in you, any season, no doing to top abroad, no boy because of Bubu foam. Yenye being talk, Kumasin and Cry for Wakashi Crassa. Mon surprise, I wanted you know what I get to what the Batapra, yen to moon talk. Because
plantain has become very scarce in this rainy season. Those who bring it from Accra and Kumasi sell it at a very high price. So those of us in Takoradi, we can't buy. Those we buy from get it from villages, hence the high prices. It is not our fault, neither are we hiking the prices. Left to us alone, it will be in abundance. We really struggle a lot to buy. Getting it costs a lot, hence the price. If it was less expensive, it would have benefited all of us. As I'm standing, I'm all alone. I solely depend on this to feed. All of us are breadwinners for ourselves, so we are pleading with the government to help those planting to increase the harvest. The scarcity is due to this rainy season. By July 2nd week, it will be in abundance. The government is doing his part. Let's all do same and quit the blame game.
What's the main when I was Ghana and you would there or ban a man or ban or ban home was 9 hours. My home was near Gates and Nakamia, woman in Debia.
Traders here tell me that there is an increment in some commodity each week, and some of them it is a monthly increment. They tell me that with the exception of tomatoes, which has reduced, the rest of the commodities keep on increasing.
Last month, the sack was 66, let's say 6 million, and this year, and by this time, the sack is 7.5. And including the lorry fare, it will be 8 million. So I sell the blue band 80 cedis, Congo. We have 25 cedis and we have 17 cedis. We have 2 cedis, 3 cedis, now 5 cedis.
Okay, so how many pieces would you give for 5 cedis, 3 cedis, 2 cedis?
Some 5 cedis is 5. The big one 5 cedis. Now the medium one is 3 for 5 cedis. Now the small one is 2 cedis.
So
this one is 2 cedis. Okay. So that means one is 50 pesos. Now this one is 3 cedis. So if you want to sell this one is for 70 pesos.
Okay.
Now this one 50, 1 cedis, 1 for 1 cedis.
So that is 5 cedis.
Yes.
And then this particular one?
That one is 17 cedis. So if you want to sell that one, you can sell 1 for 2 cedis, 1 to 50 pesos, 1 to 1 cedis.
They say they want stakeholders and the government to work around the clock to make sure that prices are decreased so that they can also earn meat here. For Joy Business, I am Inathalia Kwansa.
All right, Inathalia Kwansa there at the new Takoradi market, just giving us an idea what the prices of items are, just in case you want to shop around that area. Next is Fundit, tips for you if you are a small business owner. Take a listen.
Hi, You are once again welcome to Fund It with me, Dr. Thelma from the Desert Youth Services and Consultancy. We are still looking at how to raise funds for your business, and today we're going to talk about grants. Grants is what some people call free money, but then it is not so free, because you would have to make sure that you meet the requirements of the grants, and also you put in a professional grant proposal. If you are lucky or you are able to write the grant proposal yourself, fair enough, but it is always advisable to look for a professional grant writer to do that for you. Well, it comes as a fee, but then it is worth it because you know that you are getting a professional writer, and funders will consider a professionally written one. And so look at all the grants available, both locally and internationally. Look at the areas they are giving the grants for and the requirements of the grants, and make sure that your grant application is tailor-made to these requirements. That way you are sure of getting the grant funds. Don't just apply for one grant and leave it at that. You would have to apply to several of them, and then possibly you could get one or two that will be willing to fund your business. Thank you for your time, and see you in the next session.
And that's the marketplace. Thanks for watching, everyone. Before we go, let's take a look at what is making headlines on our website, myjoyonline.com. Consumers are not paying realistic prices at the pumps, that's according to Senior Hosi. Also, fuel price hikes, expect things to get worse by December. That's also according to Duncan Amwa, speaking on PM Express Business Edition. We've got more on that and other stories on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Will make for a good read this weekend. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week.